Hi, I'm Killian, and thank you for accepting this interview for Radio Normandie Rock. Could you introduce the band for those who don't know you yet?
Introduce the sound of the band, or just the band, like?
Just the band, maybe.
Well, I mean, right now you have Sebastian on drums and Nick on bass here from Baroness, and we're a band that is now from the East Coast of the U.S. We're a rock band that has had different stages and eras in our career. I don't know really how to describe it.
Okay.
It's a weird band. It's a good band.
How was the band name chosen?
So we are not original members. We joined 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
So apparently one of the stories John told us, John's the last guy, the last original member left, he said it was also a sneaky homage to the band Queen.
Okay.
But I think he just liked the way it sounded. Yeah.
Okay.
You hear anything else?
I just know that he wanted it to be something female because there's so much
macho-ness
and heavy music, so
okay.
we just knew it needed to be female.
May I ask you why you're chosen to be independent as possible, to produce your album and other?
The last album? Why we did it ourselves? I mean, basically because we could, really. We have enough gear now, and I think also, I mean, there's multiple reasons. You know, everything got messed up with COVID and the scheduling and the booking and getting producers. It's also much cheaper to do it yourself. And we also thought it would be fun and an interesting experience.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
By the way, there's a question in my mind. Is there anything between the colors of album cover and the content?
I'm sure there is. I mean, John layers the artwork definitely with a bunch of symbolism and things that reference things that are inside of Baroness and also just things that are in history and art history in general, which he also does inside of the records, you know. So I know like the animals that are chosen all have significant meanings and often link to different lyrics that pop up in the records, you know.
I mean, for me, also that it's one of those things where it kind of makes sense after the fact. It's like, oh, the songs off Blue, they sound like Blue songs to me now.
Okay.
You know, so it's hard to separate sometimes the intention and the consequence, you know, with that kind of thing.
Speaking about the albums, who composed, who wrote the lyrics?
John does all the lyrics. I mean, 95%, right?
Yeah.
Normally, you know, we all write our own parts. You know, we'll present bass lines and drum beats to John. He'll pick the ones he likes. He'll start putting guitar over it, and you know, and then we put stuff together. But he's mainly in charge of the chord progressions and he's in charge of the vocals, you know. But we all pretty much do what we think is best. You know, he never tells us play this drum part or play this bass line. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean he wrote a couple of bass lines on Golden Gray.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this one we definitely spent a lot more time as like a 4-piece jamming, for lack of a better word, just playing together and like having a core of an idea and working on it all at the same time. So when you start out with something, a chord progression or a riff, and then play it for, you know, 300 hours and it changes a little bit. So there was a lot of that with this record.
We had, you know, that we would record during the day and then we'd have dinner, and then at night we would, you know, maybe smoke a little or have a couple of beers, and then we would jam at night, and it was useful, you know, to just be like, oh hey, we're not recording right now, we're just having fun. Let's just experiment with the song
and see how flexible these parts, you know, can be, you know.
And then so, you know, you polish them, you change things, you modify stuff, and then the next day you record it, you know.
Okay. Who does the album's covers, artwork?
That's all John.
Okay.
Yeah. He's you know, he's an established artist and, you know, designer and all that, and yeah, it's part of the identity of the band for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and so for the last album, it's all the band who do the album, not another person.
Say it again?
For the last album,
It was us that produced it, yeah.
yeah.
It was just the four of us with zero engineer, zero help recording and making the record. And then we had a great mixing engineer, Joe Barisi. He mixed the record.
Okay.
But yeah, he didn't have a producer role, and didn't want a producer role. He's like, no, I'm mixing this record,
Okay.
So yeah, it was a Baroness produced record for sure.
We've all been making music for a long time. We've all either worked or owned or hung out in studios. We're all very sort of, we all want to do things and make things and be active, and so it worked out well.
Have you seen any bands or planning to see any bands after you play tonight?
Well, I saw a band last night. I saw Soulfly, and I saw the side stage, and the drummer they have, I'm pretty sure it's Max Cavalier's son.
Yeah.
And he was fucking awesome. He is the Keith Moon of heavy music. It was totally wild. It was really, I gotta say, it was very exciting.
I wish we could see Meshuggah, but they'll be playing around the same time we're playing, so I'll miss them because they are by far my favorite band I've seen live.
Okay.
Outside of Korn.
And Limp Bizkit.
No, they are great. Korn is also good, but
On the many French dates you played, what did you think of the French public?
The French public,
Really accurate question.
No. Listen,
No.
It's like I always say, you guys are almost Latin American in that you sing the melodies of the songs. Sometimes you're active. I remember we played Hellfest 2 years ago, and when we finished the set, the crowd was chanting the melody of the guitar solo when we finished. Like in a football stadium, which is awesome.
Okay. Do you prefer to play in concert halls or in festivals? It's different, but
they're just totally different. It's most of the time when we find ourselves in a concert hall, it's like our show, which is always, you feel like you can do more, just like be yourself, I guess. We're always ourselves, but you feel more comfortable to just like, these are our people, they came to see us. And at a festival, you're playing to new people oftentimes. So you can feel that. A crowd definitely feels different. But we've always had a great time, especially the French festivals have always been like super exciting. Yeah.
what are your musical inspiration and what band are you currently listening? Actually,
what am I listening to now? What are musical inspirations? I mean, is it in our lives or right now? I mean, it's hard to say. There's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, for a lot of people, it ends up being it's the classics for me. Like Led Zeppelin and Queen have a huge influence on my whole electric bass playing in general,
I think like some newer bands, some bands that we even toured with, Portrayal of Guilt is really creative and cool, and really great drumming on that. And then there's like some of the new hardcore stuff, like Speed, is that's very entertaining. I'm into that, but I don't know how much that goes into Baroness music, honestly. Maybe it's just an attitude inspiration. It's not really. I don't think it's very direct musical inspiration.
Yeah, one of my biggest musical inspirations is Meshuggah, and there's nothing genty about a Baroness album,
Okay. I like to end my interview with a fun fact of the band, if you have one to tell.
What's a fun fact?
A fun fact, we have lots of uncomfortable facts.
Uncomfortable truths.
Let's see, a fun fact.
We like playing Frisbee? I don't know, is that a fun fact?
That's a fun fact. How about Meshuggah is afraid of us.
That's a fun fact.
It's kind of true.
Yeah.
No, we're friends. We're friends.
We just scared them on one ferry ride.
We were too drunk.
Okay. So, thank you very much for according me your time and see you on stage tonight.
Right on. Thanks,
It's gonna
man.
be fun.